Good morning, this is Babatunde with Pennystocking 100 to 1000. Welcome back to the series where we take a fresh account on Webull starting with just $100 and show you the journey it takes to grow that $100 to $1,000 over time. And we're back. Today is August 2nd, 2019. Markets are red and the count is down again. Let's get into exactly how much the count is down this week. So for the last week, we're down 27%. And let's get into why. Now, a lot is going on this week. I'm going to start trying to do, I don't know if I will, but I think I want to start doing like this, kind of these weekly recaps. There's a lot to talk about, but you condense everything into one video. So a lot of things going down this week. Some good trades, some bad trades, some kind of iffy trades. So we'll get into that right now. So we had a couple trades we just needed to not be in on. We have 3 trades that were day trades, obviously 3 day trades, and then we have 2 overnight trades. I just need to not really do overnights because I just do not have a great strategy for them at the moment. I'm more versed in day trades, so I need to stick to that. Honestly, I need to stick to that because these overnight plays are not really working for me. So, but anyways, we can show you exactly what we got in on. So, right, Monday, day trade on SFET. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I think that was a loss. Yeah, so we lost $13.59 on that one. All right, so we got in at 166 at 709 in the pre-market, and we sold it at 741 at 143. Now, this was me cutting my losses. It wasn't very quickly, but I cut my losses after I realized the stock was not going to do much from that point on. So we lost about, I think, 14% on that or something like that. Let's get to the day this happened. So here. Okay, so I don't remember what the news was, but yeah, so gapped up here. Yeah, it was trading in the 120s the day before. It gapped up here the next day when I saw it in the pre-market to the 140s. It had a spike up to the 150s. And I seen this in the pre-market, but it was a little too late, and it started reversing back down. So I held off, did not get into it because I thought it was dead from that point on. Tries to push up back to the 150s. That was it. Started reversing back down. Now where it gets interesting is around the 7 o'clock. There was an actual spike around 7 o'clock. When I saw this here before 7 o'clock, when it dipped down to the 130s, I thought it was done. It was going to come back here and fill the gap back to the 120s. 7 o'clock, it actually picked up, and it flew to 169 on relatively high volume for the pre-market. When I saw this, that's when I decided to get in. I guess it didn't really have much room left to go at that point because I got in at 166, I guess, when it was slightly coming back down. So I just had caught the top, so that was unfortunate. I thought I was getting in, roughly at a good time. This just did not have a good range of motion. From the gap to the 140s, it goes up to 160s. That's it. So it didn't even have a good gap up. And when I'm making these plays, I tend to find a good entry. This is like a good entry. Like most of the time, I get in like around here, where it gaps up to the 140s and runs to 160s. I get into 160s, and then it runs to about $2, and I'm out. This just did not have enough room to run, unfortunately. So, that was the end of it, and it started coming back down here. I thought about getting out right here in the 150s as it started reversing back down, but I wanted to kind of hold on and see if I could wait to the 9 o'clock thing. But it just wasn't looking good. So I went ahead and got out, I think, on this tick here. So I went ahead and got on this red tick here at 144. So we lost, or 143, I think it was. But we lost about 15% on that one, so that sucks. It just did not have the move I was looking for. And obviously on the rest of the day, it just kind of dipped down and died back to the 115s. So, yeah. Moved on from that one. That was play number 1 of the week. Play number 2, CTRM. This is where things started to get a little bit bad. This was the overnight. I knew I didn't have any day trades until that Wednesday. But Tuesday, I decided to come on in and see if we can find a play ahead of time. So I guess I'm trying to experiment. We lost $34 trying to experiment. or actually, no, not on that one specifically. That was another day, so that was all cumulative. So we lost a bit on here though. So got in at 9:19 just before the market opened. This was actually on Monday after I got out of SFET. Because we had that loss, we decided we wanted to try to make another move to see if we can recoup those losses from SFET. So we got in at 420. This was like the low, or around where it's been sitting at for like the past year. We'll get into the chart right now. But we sold it at 329 later on that day. I mean the next day, Tuesday, because didn't have any day trades. But let's get into the charting. So, right, so I can't see the date actually, but yeah, I think this was the day here. Yeah, so it ran up to actually 499 that day. Webull is not accurate. It ran to 499 that day, that morning. So I thought I was doing pretty well because I saw it had news. So I got in pretty early because, like I said, this stock has been trading like here, consolidating here around the low fours for like almost the whole year, right? So I thought I had a fairly, this was kind of calculated. I didn't really want to make an overnight trade, but I wanted to make it kind of calculated. This was kind of calculated. I thought there was like low risk to this. It's been trading here, consolidating here pretty much for the whole year, unless there's some big news and it jumps up and comes back down to this area again. So I thought I was buying at like the support. It makes all-time lows right after I buy it, so that's unfortunate. I mean, new yearly lows, sorry, after I buy it. So yeah, it had a spike up. The reason why it had some news, they announced a new vessel acquisition. And actually, I think the reason why this didn't do as well as it could have, maintain to hold those gains, is because of the fact that this was actually old news. Like this, it's not a secret that they were going to acquire a new vessel. This has been in news for a long time. They just finally finalized it. They finally got it. So, this is like pump and dump territory. This is old news. So, and the float on this is actually about 800,000. Doesn't show you, but it's like about 800,000 on this one. So it's a low float. I thought it had a lot of potential. I thought I was buying in support. It did have that nice run up. And if I had a day trade, obviously I would have locked in, 15% in gains or whatever. But it just, I don't have any day trades. So it was very, very painful to watch this thing spike up, to be up 15%, and then to watch it and then be down, 15%. It was very painful to watch that, but nothing I could do because I didn't have any day trades. And there's no need to risk PDT restrictions over, a few dollars. So I didn't worry about it. So like I said, I sold it the next day. I should have sold it in the pre-market the next day, but, I wanted to give it a little time to run. It did not do much, so I went ahead and got out when I could. So that was that play. Like I said, I probably just need to stay away from overnight plays until I actually figure out a consistent strategy with them. Because right now we're just kind of like experimenting and it's not really working out for the best. So that was play number 2. Now, play number 3. This is Wednesday. There was actually it's going to be 3 plays. Actually, 3 plays happened on Wednesday, I believe. There was the 2-day trades and the one overnight. So we actually did 2-day trades on Wednesday. One of them was a calculated loss. So that was SLS. SLS has been kind of spiking through the week. So I had it on watch. It's very popular. Always on the high volume chart. So SLS. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I can actually search the name actually. So SLS, overall, we're up, on this stock a little bit. But, right, SLS, so we got in on this on Wednesday at 9:31, right after the open. And we got out 4 minutes later, cut our loss at 22.5 roughly. So, lost about 5-6%, so not huge. I went ahead and cut my loss quickly on that one. As quick as I could, actually. So, we got in at 24 cents. I saw this in the pre-market. The high was roughly 25 cents. That was pretty much the top. I thought maybe that might be it in general because it had like a, that was like kind of a double top. Let's show you the chart for it. As you can see here. So yeah, in the pre-market, this was around 5 in the pre-market. It hit around close to 25. Then on the open, it spikes up, close to 25, 24 again. That was kind of like the double top. I figured that might be it. But I decided, just in case, let's just try to get in. I don't see anything really much else to get in on right now. Let's just try to see if it has more room left to push. Maybe close to 30, 29, something like that. We didn't get it. That was just a double top. We didn't actually get that push up. And as I noticed that and I saw that coming back down, reversing back down, I just went ahead and cut that loss as quickly as I could. When it was in the 23s, I went ahead and put a market order. I just wanted to hurry and get out and get filled. I don't know why the market order took so long to actually fill. It was actually kind of stressful. It took about a good 10, 15 seconds for a market order to actually go through, to actually get filled. I guess there was just a lot of order frequency going through. And so actually by the time I got filled, I didn't get filled in the 23s. I got filled in the 22s. But anyways, we cut that loss in the 22s. So we didn't lose that much on that one. That's fine. Calculated day trade. Either you're going to be wrong or you're going to be right. We were wrong in this situation, so it's fine. Moved on to the next trade because we had 2 day trades that day. So we got in on the fourth play. This was the actual win of the week. So we got a little, finally got a nice win in there to kind of soften the blow on those losses. So DMPI. Now I've talked about DMPI before, as you can see. A winner. We got in this before. It was win on this one. When I see this stock on the scanners, I just immediately try to jump in because this is a stock that I've seen spike quite a few times and it has a good run up when it does spike. So when I saw this after I got out of SLS, I knew this was going to be the play for me to get in, the play of the day. So I went ahead and jumped in on that straight away. No hesitation. Got in as soon as I could. So we got in at $9.40 and we sold it 7 minutes later. So we got in at $2 a share and sold it at $2.26. So we made about 13% gain on that one. So that was okay. We didn't catch the top of it, but that's okay. It actually ran to around the 250s, I believe. But that's fine. Doesn't matter. We took the meat of the move and we got out before it dumped again. So that's fine. So here, 259, that was the top for the day. So we got in here on this spike, this big green candle here. And that was nice. So we got in on that push. And, we got out right pretty much at the end of that tick. It was 224 was the close of that tick. But we got out on that tick. So, just wanted to make sure I locked in some gains. I didn't want to chance it. Because just as quickly as, I know this is a stock that I said has potential to fly when it does fly. But at the same time, I don't trust these plays because they're all generally pump and dumps. Pump, dump. So, I don't trust these plays. So I want to go ahead and lock my gains in when they come in. My general rule of thumb, I like to make at least 10% or more in gains if I can. 225 was looking kind of sketchy. Like I say, actually, when it hit that first, I think somebody came in and sold a huge order right here as soon as it hit 225. So that's why when it pushed up again, I was ready to 225, retested it again. I was ready to go ahead and get out. So I went ahead and put it on 226 and got out. Didn't need to chance it, make our money, move on. So that was the DMPI. Now, I should have, ended the week off there on that 3rd day trade and just left it alone. But I decided, I wanted to try to see if I can offset some of those losses from earlier in the week and some of those in that overnight play. So we did? We got in on another overnight play. And this was Workhorse, the stock being pumped up by the president and Pence. Trump and Pence, different days, so WKHS, we got in on that one. Now this wasn't actually a loss. It was I cut it kind of close. It was almost a loss, but yeah, because it's pumped and dumped. But so we got in the same day, Wednesday at 10:56, and we got in at 5.20 a share, and we sold the next day. When they finally got some volume in the pre-market at 6:56 a.m. at 5.30 a share. So we made about 2% gain on that one. Not a huge deal. If I can make a break even on these overnight plays right now, that's okay. Because right now they're giving me losses. So if I can make a break even roughly or very, 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 very small win on it, that's fine. So that was that. Let's show you the chart for it. The news was, Mike Pence coming out, basically pumping it again, about saying that they have the funds secured to buy Lordstown. So that was a catalyst for that one, a presidential pump, if you will. So here, this has been spiking pretty huge, and from here, from the 4s all the way up to the 5s. So I thought this had potential actually. So we got in roughly around here. It dipped down to 460. So honestly, that would have been a better buy entry around that area. But when I saw this thing picking up volume towards the midday-ish area, I decided to try to jump in. See what we can achieve from that. So we just went ahead and jumped in, see what can happen. It pushes up to the 530s, and that was pretty much. This is pretty much like double top area, 530, 540 area. As you can see, that's the top. And also, so we went ahead, like I said, we went ahead and saw those signs of topping out resistance. So we just went ahead and locked that small gain in the next day when we could finally sell because we didn't have a day trade. And as you say, like I said, actually the catalyst turned out to be false. Workhorse does not have the funding to buy Lordstown. So, after that news came out, obviously the stock dumped. So I'm glad we got out right back down to it. Got out right back down to the threes, low threes. So I'm glad we got out when we did. But that was that play. I guess that was the end of the week right there. So that was the 5 plays right there. We're gonna have to stop doing these overnight plays because they're just not really worth the trouble. And I really don't enjoy being the sensation of being in these overnight plays because it feels pretty bad not being able to cut your loss, because you don't have any day trades available. And even when I was doing overnight plays, I said if I'm going to do them, you need to make sure you have a day trade in the vault because just in case, as a get out of jail free ticket, just in case things go wrong. So it's not really benefiting me to do the overnight plays, honestly. So I just need to do my 3-day trades. And like I said, if I'm going to do overnight, make sure I have a day trade available just in case. But honestly, just stay away from them, really, right now. So that was the week recap for, I think this is week 14, I believe. And I guess we'll get back in there next week and see what we can do. So right now, the series is kind of a little rocky. But we're having some success here. We're having some wins. We're having some losses. What's important right now is not necessarily the progression of the account, but the progression of the trader. So I'm learning a lot. I'm doing a lot here. A lot of lessons to be learned. I'm learning what works, what doesn't work. Obviously, the overnights do not work. What does work is the day trades, and when I cut my losses quickly, if I am wrong, So that's what's working. So that's what's more important right now in the series. And once we do settle down and figure out, what's keeping me those consistencies, then we will start to see some actual upward progress on the, profit charts. But until then, I guess we'll see you next week. Until then, we just encourage you all to stay motivated, stay inspired, study hard, and eventually, penny stocks will reward you. Thank you.